Alrighty everyone, we're going to do a couple of things in this video. Mainly, we're just going to get the motor assembled. I got the motor right here. Just need to, spray down the decks, make sure everything's all clean. Now there's not all junk on it from sitting. I'll probably hit a couple spots with a razor blade just to make sure the old gasket's off. Need to get that all assembled on. Do this little mock-up thing here to weld fittings into my valve covers. -10 fittings. See? This one turned out beautiful. Right in the middle. Perfect spot. Angled out just enough. This one, not so much. Pay attention to what you're doing. I'm going to try to get a tight radius 90 for it and see if I can get it on there. But there's a hole right here, but the valve cover indents down. See? And that's where I welded it on the other side, and it was a real pain in the ass. So I was holding off, trying to weld it into the flat, and not doing a good job of paying attention. And I welded it there, and you just can't get a fitting on it. So I'm going to try to get a tight radius and hope that works, and I can get away with it. Fingers crossed. But we got to get these heads on. In my last video, you guys saw that Brian Tooley shorted me 3 sets of valve locks. Put something up on my Facebook. They reached out. Kyle from BTR reached out right away. Next morning, I sent him the ID number for the spring kit. Had a confirmation email with a tracking number, and those will be here just about now, a day and a half later. So I want to thank BTR for that. A great company. It's not the first thing I bought from them. It certainly won't be the last. This is like the 3rd spring kit I've bought from them. 2 cams. I want to put their kit in my truck as well, and that just reassured that I'm with a good company. Oh, we're going to get the whole motor assembled today. Get the heads bolted down. I think I want to paint the motor plate satin. That or try to make the aluminum look better. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with the motor plate. I'll get all the accessories on it and start working it out. I can't get everything bolted up because I'm waiting on a little surprise for the front of the motor that I can't get on. But we can put the manifolds on, and what we're going to do is let me dig these things out. I'm over here in my mess of pile of parts. And what we're going to do is we're going to clean these up. And I'm going to show you a hot rodding trick that I learned. And we're going to see if it actually works. We're going to take the manifolds and we're going to wipe it down with some Lysol Power Plus toilet cleaner on a crappy old microfiber. Arctic Fresh scent. That's what it is. It's fresh, alright. Some Scotch-Brite. See how well this works. Ain't gonna work that great on the cheap Chinese, I don't think. It might just take some muscle. That's what it looks like. We're going to try to put some more on, and let's do it like this instead of with the rag. Alright, well that's a bust. I don't know if you left it on there longer or if it was a better quality stainless. I don't know if you left them on there longer. It's a bust. You could see it. It didn't do that great of a job. If you probably sat there with your scuff pad for hours, this guy said he did both of his headers in 15 minutes. Gotta try it, gotta see if it'll work. I even hit this one with my soda blaster and it didn't do crap. I don't know if it's just the cheap stainless that this is made out of or what, but that didn't do it. Alright, we gotta put the motor together, get the heads bolted on. There's really not much to do. I mean, I can't put all my accessories on because I don't have my water pump ready to go yet, and that holds everything on the front. We'll just get the heads on, get the rockers, push rods in it, and get that much done. That's the easy part. Ouchie. 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 Stuck hit me. Let's put this guy over here.
Yeah, that was one thing I noticed when I had the lid off when we swapped lids.
It was way off?
The back port was like half blocked. I'm like,
mine were all pretty close.
I loosened up all the studs. But you could like literally you could turn it a little bit, and I was like, oh look, that's
lined up perfect.
Yeah, that was much better.
All right.
Yeah, good, ready?
Let's put this one on. Oh, we need gaskets.
Gaskets work better. Gaskets work better. There you go.
$60. Brand spanking new LS9 gaskets that people say you can't use on a 5.3. Look, that fucker got me good.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah.
No. Definitely put LS9 gaskets on.
Yeah. People waste $900 or whatever it was a clean a gasket.
That's a treasure tight, right?
Yeah, I think so. What, 10s? I'm pretty sure I tightened them down.
No need to leave anything loose. Dowel pins? Dowel pins. Nope.
Yeah, we're really fucking this all up.
Don't forget dowel pins.
Oh, you know what? They're in. Don't forget your dowel pins.
Yes.
We're doing everything backwards here. I was about to put the head on without a head gasket, and I was about to put the head gasket on without dowel pins.
Tell you, man. Alright. Now the
Front.
yes, always put the front there.
To the
makes a very
front.
loud popping noise if you don't.
Oh yeah, blows out the. You can see the gaskets. Make sure you put them on front. You could see how much bigger the bore is on a 6-liter than a 5.3. It's crazy how much bigger it is. But it doesn't matter. They work on all of them. Guess what? Even a 4.8.
4.8's got the same bores.
Exactly.
Just smaller stroke.
Alrighty.
There's no oil leaks or nothing that you need to fix, right? Everything
Nope,
back
I
here was
fixed
good?
it last time, yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
One.
You want to do it?
Why do you just put it on the top of the washer?
Yeah, I mean...
Just the top so it doesn't spin against the head. Let me, brought home my favorite tools from work. My Snap-on 3/8 and 1/2-inch digital torque wrenches.
Lifesavers.
Yeah, these things are fucking tits.
Doing anything with angles.
I'm gonna have to take that coolant sensor back out to torque it. Oh god, maybe that stud too. It's on that exhaust stud.
Exhaust. Oh, you have exhaust studs. I did not pay attention. How'd you get them off?
Took the studs out probably. Just
Two of them. I thought you would lift that shit all along then.
no, because they were going into the new heads.
Good point, good point. Good point.
These heads are good for a bunch of more power from the 799s.
What are these?
862s. So if you go and watch Richard Holdner, who, by the way, copied my last video, whether he did or not, I don't care. He put it out literally the day after my valve video. He does a test of 317s versus 799s, and then 799s versus 862s, or 317s versus 862s, which is what I did. I went from 317s to 862s. And the compression bump is worth more power than airflow on a cathedral port head. Once you go into rectangle port, it's completely different. But on a cathedral port head, these heads make the most power because of the compression bump. It's like from the 317s to these, it's like 1.5 points in compression. Smallest valves, smallest chambers, but make the most power. Now, a rectangle port head, which you can't even put on this block because it's too big, and the valves will hit the cylinders, it makes like 30 horsepower more. But that was on a 6-liter, because obviously this is a 5.3. It was like 21 horsepower more. I think I just watched a video the other day. But if you go from an 862 to a trick flow head, it's good for 55 horsepower. You're looking $1,800, but it's 55 horsepower bolt on.
Easy peasy.
Coolant temp sensor.
I'll put something on the threads.
Got the washer, no? What am I going to put on there? Silicone?
Usually I use liquid Teflon.
Yeah, well, I'm about that.
You gotta know that?
I went to go use it the other day and the fucker was hard. I must have not tightened it all the way.
Yeah.
I went to go use it to put the plug in. Guess what? It's getting something everybody fucking hates. A little Teflon tape.
That's alright.
But you know what?
I'm not worried about Teflon tape on coolant.
All the, like my tranny cooler fittings, fucking Teflon paste, both leak.
Oh shit.
The oil fitting on my fucking turbo, Teflon paste, fucking leak.
Yeah, huh? Can I have that starter?
Yeah, Amazon, like $60.
Come on!
That's gonna be my backup starter soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a Power Master on. Power Master's 150.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put it, because I was like, I don't want to spend 2 something on a starter, and then I looked, the 2 something one is the high horsepower one for like NA motors and shit. I'm like, I don't need that. So then I found the other one, it's only 150, so I'm gonna put that on there, and that one's gonna go in the spare box.
I got you. You know, no, I like my starter, but the damn starter cylinder is literally stuck on.
Whee!
Dude, I had to get out and hit the fucking battery kill. Like it was, I'm fucking have the key in my hand, like it's still fucking cranking.
God damn it!
I jumped out of the fucking car and hit the fucking battery kill. I had to do it 3 times to get the car to start.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fun time. It was fun time.
Awesome.
Love when that happens, especially while I'm at work. That looks like the best mechanic ever.
Yeah. Oh shit. Alright, so the heads are bolted on. That's done. That was easy, like usual. It's a fucking pushrod V8. Now we gotta put the push rods in, put the rocker stands in, torque down the rockers, and hopefully the push rods are still the same length. I didn't have them cut much, I just had them clean it up for a gasket surface because they were straight as an arrow. Is there an up or down on these?
All the same. But you can see the shiny is usually the top side. See how that's dull?
Dull. Oh! Bent push rod.
That's it. Ruined it.
Fucking ruined. Good thing I got a spare fucking set with 500 miles on them.
Yeah, the shiny was in the top. You could tell. It doesn't make a difference, but I'm just letting you know. That's how you check the push rod there.
This way.
So, I'm actually going to buy a set of push rods.
Really?
Huh?
That's amazing. The 740s, I got a set.
I figured the built motor should have push rods.
You should be putting bigger push rods in it.
It's going to get, what's the next step up from these? These are 5/16. It's going to go at 3/8.
Oh god, those rods. I just pushed down all the fucking...
The lifters.
lifters. My stock rockers with Straub, bronze, whatever the fuck they're called in there. Bearings, whatever,
bushings, no bearings.
You go 770 with stock ones with needle bearings.
Bone stock.
Yeah, yeah. You know.
Stock push rods, stock rockers.
My 9-second car has fucking everything. His 7-second car has nothing.
That's right.
That's right. He's on borrowed time though. I'm not.
What you mean, Liz?
You know exactly what I mean.
That car's been together a long time.
Yeah, but it's only gone 7 twice.
5 times.
Whatever.
We got 5 7-second slips.
So you got about 15 more passes out of it.
Wish.
Everything seems to be moving just purty. Beautiful. She is beautiful. And I marked my balancer so I can put it right at TDC. I really want to keep crank though.
Yeah.
No need for a 6.2 when 5.3 is going 440s.
Hey. Hey, listen, you leave my 6.2 alone, okay? Alright? Everybody said I was going to grenade that shit in a hurry.
Yeah, that's very true.
You know what I'm saying? Drag week, 7s, still going.
Oh, these actually say down on them. Manifold side. Look at
Yes,
that.
manifold side and down.
I don't think I ever realized it. I probably realized it last
Seriously?
time I put them on. Yeah, this is the second time I've ever put them on.
Oh, man.
Reused. Where'd the other one go? There it is. Oy. Yeah, we'll reuse these. Down. Manifold side. I'm going to port match it to these.
Hmm? Oh. Yeah. You're going to be there for a while.
A long while. They did make them like really fucking blue though.
That's what I'm saying, but like, they don't like clean up, like,
Not like those.
you know? Does it make a difference what side goes where?
You can't put them the other way, you dummy.
This is a good point.
They have to go forward.
You know? See?
Alrighty guys, the motor's all assembled. Valve covers are on, coils are on, even though I gotta blow that all apart. The intake manifold is still in pieces and it's not bolted down. I just pretty much put it here. I told you guys before, I got nowhere to put all these parts. My place is packed and I wanted to seal the engine up just a little bit so it's not a huge problem. And I never took into account my alternator bracket when making this fuel line. Thank God it was just a little tweak. I might have to remake these two because I went to go put them on and I hit the flare on it. I think I straightened it. I think it's going to be good. But we won't know until there's fuel flowing at 60 psi or 45 psi or whatever the hell psi I decide to put it at in here. Now having said that, so this is pretty much all done. I'm waiting on the finish of my accessories. I gotta find a bigger alternator, more amp alternator that fits in the same spot, and I don't have to modify anything or change anything, I should say. 100 amp alternator is not gonna cut it this go around. Ugh, especially with them big old fans. Yeah, so I mean it went together smooth, rotated it all over, no issues. Everything seemed to work fine. I'm going to put a new set of plugs in it when I go to fire it up. What we're doing is we're going to finish sanding out the engine bay, get a coat of primer on it, make sure everything's good, and I'm going to dump this all into the engine bay. I was going to wait till the engine bay was painted. I didn't want to feel like going through all this mock-up, but I really don't have a choice. I'm putting an air-to-air intercooler on it now, so I need the turbo in the right spot. I mean, it's bolted to the mount, but there's some movement on it, so it can be a little off. So I'm going to dump the motor in, get the turbo kit on it. The intercooler will be here tomorrow. I'm going to start making end tanks. We're going to go over building an intercooler. I'm going to start making end tanks for that. I got to get some metal. I'm going to start doing the down pipe because I'm going to have to weld a hanger on the far side because I can't have the whole downpipe just supported by the turbo. So it's going to loop under this frame rail and go out that side. Though when I start to do that, I'm going to have to mock up the fenders in the bumper just to see it. If you guys paid attention, I welded the V-band on this, but this is my exit for my downpipe, which is going to be out the passenger fender over there. And that's because driving on the highway, it drones so bad right in the driver window. So it's going to move forward to the tire, and it's going to go out the bumper, and yeah, that's what it's going to look like coming out. Once everything's mocked up in the engine bay, and I built the intercooler and made the mounts, and I built the downpipe and made the mounts, I'm also moving my catch can. I'm actually going to have Jason at FCS build me a new one to my specs. There's nothing wrong with that one the way it is, but I got all this real estate up front, and that made it kind of tight in that corner. So I thought about having him build me. It'll probably be around 1.5, 2 gallons, depending on the size once I'm all said and done with it. I thought about putting it in the trunk, but I just don't feel like dealing with running a whole hose back there and all that stuff. It might happen if I get mad at the way the lines look coming over. Who knows? It might happen. But that's where we're at. I'm glad this is all back together. This is ready to go. I mean, minus this stuff. Like I said, this has to get coated still. The valve covers still have to get coated. Once those two are coated, they can go back on for good and together. I can't bolt down the intake because my lift plate is under here. So once the motor's in the car, I probably still won't bolt it down because I'm going to start wiring it, and everything's going to go under the intake manifold for that nice clean look. This is a huge motivator. Now I got to finish sanding that and be all done so it can go off and get painted this time. Oh, like usual, guys, get in your garage, grab a cold beer, grab a cold drink, cocktail. But spring is on the way. Some places got snow this weekend. Some places are in the 70s. But racing season and cruising season is almost here. I gotta get my ass in gear, or we're not going to be finished until June, which cannot happen. This thing needs to be done by the end of April, which leaves me 2 months. I don't foresee that happening, but we're gonna definitely try to get it done. Once the engine's back in the car, there's really, I got a wire. That's it. There's, I don't really have to fab too much stuff. So, like usual, guys, have a good night.